Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Tréi Stella, and you're tuned in to MusicXclusives TV.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Javaya.
It is your girl, Tiana Taylor.
Eric Ballinger.
Tamia.
Kenny from the Nine.
Sniper Nell.
Y'all checking out MusicXclusives.
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 MusicXclusives. MusicXclusives.
MusicXclusives. MusicXclusives TV.
You mean tune in for real?
Yeah.
Huh?
What's going on, everybody? It's your man Y-Lii, the Southern Kid with the City Swag, coming to you live here in New York City with MusicXclusives, and I'm sitting right here with the lovely Tréi Stella. Tréi Stella, how you doing?
Good.
Listen, she has an amazing album that came out last weekend. We're gonna talk so much about it. First, Tréi, you're here in New York City. How have you enjoyed your week here thus far?
Well, New York is home, so I think it's been cool. I got to see my family. Specifically my mom and my dad. So yeah, it's been cool.
Okay, all right. So this particular week you've been doing a lot of, actually you did your listening event on Tuesday. Yeah, so that was good. I was there. I enjoyed it. The album itself, 10 tracks, R&B.
Yep.
Sorry for the wait.
Sorry for the wait.
Let's talk about why you called it, because I'm thinking, I don't know if it's because it took so long for it to come out, or maybe it was so long for us to actually experience real good R&B. But, let's talk about your reasoning for titling the album Sorry for the Wait.
I'm not mad at the second.
The second one?
The second thing you said, I'm not mad at that. But no, I've been holding on to this music for basically 4 years now.
Okay.
And I know that there were a lot of people that were like, where's the music? When you coming out with your own blah, blah, blah. And so I was just like, I have to call it Sorry for the Wait.
Wow, okay. Sorry for the wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about your name though, Tréi Stella.
So 3 is my favorite number.
Okay.
And I just added the I there for this fancy decoration. And then Stella is my favorite beer.
Okay.
Shameless
Stella.
plug, I'm trying to endorse my Stella.
Stella Artois, hit Tréi Stella, hit her up, hit her up. She got 10 songs you can pick from.
Right.
All right. So the process of recording the album. Let's talk about, any moments from the start to finish. Let's talk about when you recorded the first song. How many years ago was that?
That was 4 years ago. We actually recorded the first piece of You're the One at Tyrese's house.
Wow.
In his studio. Yeah, that was 2016. And I used to have to fly back and forth between New York and LA because obviously B-Slade lives in LA. And so yeah, for the past 4 years I had to go back and forth, and then I just decided maybe about 2 years ago, like, I'm just gonna move to LA to make my life easier, and then I'm able to work as much as I want to. Yeah, and just so happens that I live right up the street from B-Slade. So like, literally he'll call me and I'm like, I'm on my way. Literally a 2-minute drive. We live on the same street.
Wow.
It kind of worked out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, for those of y'all who don't know who B-Slade is, those of you who are more familiar with gospel music, formerly known as Tone, Tone, aka B-Slade, that's who helped produce the majority of the album and also writing on the album, right? I didn't know that at the first time I listened to the album.
Okay.
I spoke to Leo, and then he told me that B-Slade had assisted, and I said, aha. I knew I recognized some pieces of that, some pieces of the way certain things sounded, the way the phrasing, and I recognized some of those things. But overall, what I would say is, like I told you before, I listened to the album at 4 a.m. and it woke me up. It definitely woke me up, especially with Holla. Y'all, Holla is my favorite track. That's #1, so you can't miss it.
Right.
But let's talk about how you initially linked up with B-Slade and how that relationship began.
So, not to get all churchy.
Oh, we're gonna take it there too.
So, my mom actually met him before I did.
Wow, okay.
And so when I got to meet him, I was just like, I'm a fan. Like, I was just a fan. And one of my friends was like, yo, you know who her mom is? And he was just like, yo, your mom prayed me through some things, like I owe her. And he felt like there was nothing that he could do, like really to pay her back. And so he started to like just take me under his wing, and that's how we started to like build a friendship. And then he started producing the album. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's great. That's great. You know, who would have ever thought that a connection will link up that way? That's amazing.
Right.
So you've been working with him for how many years? About 4 or 5? 4 or 5 years?
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
Yep.
All right. From an artist standpoint, because you know, I know a lot of people out there who want to be artists, but I don't think that some of these people that are more like in the last 3 years, people who have just decided, you know what, I wanna become a solo artist. Some people don't understand that things take time. That there's a process, and you gotta keep going. Let's talk about what sustains you during those times where you may have even thought that it wasn't gonna happen.
I just know that I'm born to do this, like, and I had to understand that, and I said this the other night, like, God will never bring you to a place and desert you. And my favorite scripture says that, you know, if you delight yourself in Him, He'll give you the desires of your heart. And then there's another scripture that says, you know, acknowledge Him in all your ways and He'll direct your path. And so I kind of had to stay encouraged in that, because it does take time. It is a process, you know. It costs a lot, you know, like, I don't have a backing, I don't have a label, I don't have, you know, sponsors or whatever. So yeah, it takes time, but I would just tell artists, like, you just have to, first of all, music is timeless, endless. So there's no rush, like, and if you want it to be right, and if you want it to be good, take your time, like, there's no rush. Like, just make sure that you know what you want to do, and then create like good music.
Yes, yeah.
Timeless music, or music that's like effective, and then go for it. Like, yeah.
Wow. Take all that advice in. So let's talk more about the album and the writing process. I know we spoke earlier, you mentioned how you were going through some things like sicknesses, and then you were, of course, tired doing some of it. But, you know, when we listen to the vocal outcome of this album, it's just amazing. But that goes to show that, you know, even while you're in the process, things can happen, but you gotta keep pushing. So if you had to name one track to be your favorite out of all 10, and I know that's kind of crazy, that's like asking you to pick one of your children as a favorite. But let's think about one track that you would have to say, oh, this is my joint right here.
Oh, this is hard, because I have a few.
I can't pick. Well, you know, Holla is my number one, but I still like,
Holla.
yeah.
I love It's Yours.
It's Yours.
I think It's Yours, the plot twist, and the way the music changes and then goes back to the original.
Yeah.
And then just the melodies and the harmonies, like, and the lyrical content.
That's one thing I wanted to talk about, definitely. When I was listening to the music and hearing the switch up, you know, and you did it on more than one song. And there was also this thing that you would do where the track goes dead silent for like maybe a split second, and you come right back in. I was like, oh, it's not over. Right. You know what I'm saying? You did so many different things with this album that I just have not heard before, or have not heard in such a long time. And I know real music lovers, real R&B lovers will be, or already are, if they have heard the album, very appreciative of you bringing that back around, because that's something that's just been missing. Many people have been dipping off into this, you know, version of I call it trap R&B and, you know, other things like that. But you stay very true to the album.
I am a die-hard 90s fan. Faith Evans is my favorite singer in the whole world. I tell her all the time, like, you're my favorite. Like,
okay.
And so to be able to take that sound and still make it 2020 and still give people a new sound, but give them an old feeling. That's always been my goal. And so, like, just to hear what people think about the album and like where it takes them mentally. Like, oh, I remember like back in the day, you know, I'll be at my grandmother's house and we clean up to, you know, whatever songs come on, or being at a party or at the, you know, somebody's barbecue. So yeah, that was my goal.
Yeah. I feel like you paid tribute to quite a few artists on this album. If I can name a few who I think that you paid tribute to, now the Faith Evans makes sense. I was trying to put my finger on it. I was saying Clark Sisters, but you know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, some of the melodies. I was like, that's that was giving me Clark. I feel like you paid tribute to Brandy. I feel like you paid tribute to SWV. Yeah. You gave us, you threw it back for us.
Yeah.
You threw it very nostalgic, y'all. Very nostalgic album. Please go pick that up. Let's talk about before you made a decision to be a solo artist. You were doing background. How many years did you do background professionally?
I started singing background when I was 14.
Okay.
Kiara Sheard was actually my first professional.
Was it the Bo Right Life album or?
No. This is her
that?
first album.
Oh, wow.
You don't know the person that is giving me, you don't know. Like, Yeah.
Okay. So you did BGV background voices for that, and also sang for Kanye.
Yeah, up until. That's a long time.
When did you first meet Kanye?
From 14 to 30.
That's a long time. Yo, she been with Kanye for a long.
No, I'm talking about background.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say. Geez.
I met Kanye 2016. I'm actually on his Life of Pablo album. So it was I got a random call to do a session. I didn't know who it was for, and it turns out it was for Kanye, and Kirk was he put like a few singers together, and we did the choir for Ultralight Beam.
Wow.
And so then we ended up, so that was in LA. And what's crazy is I flew to LA to record. And so I wasn't even there to like have like session work, but one of my friends found out I was in town, so they called me, which is dope. And then ended up being in New York and then getting a call to do SNL with the same people for Ultralight Beam. So that was pretty cool. And then fast forward to last year, I had just moved to LA, and I moved in the middle of a tour, but the tour was over, and I kind of was just like, okay, what happens next? I'm new to this city. I'm not really sure, you know, how to go about like starting over or whatever. And then I got a random text like, hey, can you come to this rehearsal? And it was only like 40 of us then. We didn't know what it was. We didn't know what was going on. And it turned out to be Sunday service.
Wow.
And here we are a year later, still rocking, and yeah.
You have had some amazing opportunities come your way. When you were so you started backgrounds at 14. Before 14, did you ever perceive that your life would have turned out to be this way, that you would have had any of the experiences traveling where you traveled, performing with some of the people that you perform with?
I was just a little church girl from the Bronx that loved to sing, and like that was it. I went as far as my church choir.
Wow.
But I did get to sneak in the Village Underground at 12 years old one time. My dad played there for years with Ron Grant, and they snuck me in there one time, and my father was like, you want to sing? And I sang, and funny enough, somebody was trying to sign me at 12 in the underground, but my parents said no. So now I like to remind them of the fact that, you know, we could have been living larger than charge. You know? So here I am, struggling, independent artist.
Hey.
Ground up. But you know, it's fine, everything within this time, you know.
Within this time. Listen, you've had so many amazing opportunities come your way, and I definitely believe it'll come full circle for you. It'll come around again. Definitely come around again.
So.
You did mention Ron Grant. You did mention, did feature at the end of your music video, Ron Grant. let's talk about the impact briefly, the impact that he had on your life.
He was just one of my biggest supporters. He looked out for me musically and just like life stuff. Yeah, and when he passed, it was kind of crazy. Like, it still doesn't feel real. Like, but not just me. Like, he impacted like a whole world of singers. He's the reason why I got to sing background with Carl Thomas, and I didn't know that Carl like looked at him as a mentor too. But yeah, he was just like my biggest supporter and like got me together. Like, Tiff, the next time you sing that song, you need to do it this way, and watch what happens. Like, watch the response, or that was good, but like try doing it this way, or like a couple months before he passed, he would be like, you got it, like that's what I'm talking about, keep doing that, like I like that. And so it was only right to just show him love at the end of that video, and like just to honor him, because he played a major role in music for me. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Let's talk about the encouragement that you've received from your peers coming along. How has that been? How have they responded, especially to your new project that's out now? But many of them have experienced or have heard you live singing some of the songs that are already on this project when you were just performing them at venues. Everybody's been proud. I mean, it's like I said, it's been something that people have been waiting for a long time. So the fact that it's finally out, and then the fact that the day, within hours, I went from 63 to 25, and then from 25 to 6, and then from 6 to like number 3 on the iTunes Soul charts, no backing, no label. And for people just to know my story, know where I came from, know how I started, and to know how hard I worked on the project. To know that they're proud of me makes me feel really, really good. And so, you know, I get voice notes, people, I'm trying to sing high like you on Holla, or girl, this changes, oh, I love this. And like, everybody's telling me their favorite songs, or posting videos in the car, or just in the mirror. It's like, it's really dope. I'm telling you, your album is a whole vibe. Yo, that album is a whole vibe. You really got to pick that thing up. If there was a visual that you could do next for any track on the album, which one would you pick?
Holla. Have to do one for Holla.
Yo, that's my favorite.
Because I just feel like it's very New York, and I feel like I have the opportunity to really bring the 90s 2020 mixture thing together, reminiscent of like when they used to dance on rooftops, or wear the big bubble coats, or have like the shiny silver backgrounds, and just I want to do that for Holla. Like I always think about like Diddy and Bad Boy back then, and how like June Ambrose like used to just kill wardrobe, or like when Busta did Put Your Hands on My Eyes Could See, like that. Yeah. So when I think about Holla, I'm like, I gotta do a visual for that. And Chill Moody mentioned yesterday he wanted to possibly do a video for Changes, so that would be good. And then have to do one for the ladies, Good On You, because they like, that's like.
I definitely see Good On You being a real big hit once you do the visual for that, because I think a lot of ladies could speak towards that. And it's not just any type of, boy, I'm done with you type. It really goes deep, the lyrics and everything, the emotion that you put into that. So I'm definitely excited to see that. Shout out to Chill Moody for doing the verse at the beginning of that song on Changes. So that would be definitely interesting to see, but you already know I'm waiting on Holla. I'm waiting on it. Listen, so if you do that one in New York, please give me a call. You gotta call me. All right, so what will be next? You know, is there going to be any touring? Is there going to be any concerts that you're going to do? Any concert series, anything like that?
So I have a couple of shows coming up. Nothing really like tour-ish.
Okay.
But honestly, like I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting to get the response I got from the album.
But why?
I literally dropped the album with no expectations. Like, Because I was just like, you know, I know it's been a long time. Here it is, leave me alone. Like, not leave me alone, but like, I'm like, I don't know what comes after this. And I've seen a few of my friends, you know, they release music. I didn't know what that felt like. So now I'm just like,
and they probably put that high expectation. You probably didn't want to put that expectation and be disappointed.
Right. So now I'm just like, okay, music is out. You have to promote. Like the hardest part is promoting. The hard part is that you did it. I put it out there. So now I'm just like trying to figure out what's next. People have been, you know, calling or emailing, trying to sort things out. But right now I just have like just a few shows. But we'll see what happens. Like,
okay. Listen, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to so much more, especially the visuals. I can foresee this album stretching out over the spring and the summer. It's just such a good playlist.
Thank you.
It's really such a good playlist. Let's talk about other music. What's on your playlist right now? What artists on your playlist?
Who's on my playlist? I have Stout, who I tour with Corey Henry and the Funk Apostles. She's a killer, incredible artist, killer. Kenyon Dixon, who's like one of my faves in R&B. Who else is on my playlist? The Amores, Brick Liam, Ajani. It's a few.
Quite a few. You mentioned also that speaking of your faves, having gospel as part of your roots, and you know we can definitely hear that in the album. Some of those,
Okay.
you got to teach me a run. I can't. Some of them I really have been just hit rewind, trying to like, let me see if I can get this. You know what I'm saying? What, you know, you said you started out in the choir. Were you more so just staying inside of the choir? Were you doing leads a whole lot, or how did you develop your voice? How did you develop your sound?
Choir, yes. I used to have a couple of solos or whatever, and then I would sing on the praise and worship team growing up at my church. But then once I started traveling, so I went from Kiki to like traveling with her mom at 16, and around that time I got introduced to Kim Burrell. So I used to listen to Kim, I used to listen to Karen, I used to of course listen to Faith, just a bunch of Brandy, of course. Never Say, I love Full Moon, like I think that's the first one, but Never Say Never was like, I had that album on repeat. So yeah, a little bit of gospel, R&B, and then I listened to a lot of jazz. I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston, and so we had to study like a lot of jazz, so a lot of Sarah Vaughan, a lot of Ella Fitzgerald.
I can hear that too.
Louis Armstrong I used to listen to all the time. I don't remember who it was, but they told me like singers should study like horn players. Yes. To train their ear, and then like to mimic like how they do their runs and their riffs and stuff like that.
I heard that in the album. One thing I said was to myself, I said, this girl knows music. She knows you can't. Some of those runs, some of the placements, some just when you cut, drop down and come back, some of the notes you come back, I was like, there's no way you know scales, chromatic scales. I hear all of that. I played French horn and keyboard way back when I was way younger, but most of the time I spent in music classes playing French horn. So when I heard it, I was like, she knows music. She legit knows music. There's no way in the world she could be hitting these type of notes and these harmonies. And then you've actually spent the time with people who specialize in harmonies. Karen Clark Sheard, Kiara Clark Sheard, Kim Burrell, even Faith Evans, who looks up to Karen Clark Sheard. So you spent time underneath those people who really know their way around harmonies. Brandy, the vocal Bible herself. So you are blessed beyond. I'm telling you, you are in a good position to really propel and excel beyond, you know, your wildest dreams, because that's just the way I see it, because you really have spent the time to studying not just those who have performed it, but also just like you said, studying jazz at Berkeley. Yes, I'm excited for you. I'm excited. So what do you see coming next for you? I mean, of course, continuing to promote this album, but you know, what else would you like to happen next as far as your music career?
I definitely want to do more. I want to travel more for myself. So I've kind of been taking a back seat here and there when it comes to doing like background stuff. Okay. But I want to tour. I want to open up for like whoever. I want to do festivals and further promote the album and push the album.
Now, you were at Essence Festival one year, weren't you?
Yeah, I performed with Faith actually. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, we're definitely looking forward to a whole lot more. I'm looking forward to the visuals. I just want to, you know, I can't wait to hear you live with your whole band and everything. It's Tréi Stella, everybody. Go ahead and let them know where they can follow you on social media.
You guys can follow me at officially TREI_. I'm on Twitter sometimes. But Instagram, officially
Tréi Stella. Pick up that album, man. Sorry for the wait. Sorry for the wait. It's on all platforms.